Good morning. Now this video is a very specific review video of the LF Bros N2-T diesel heater. It's an all-in-one heater. It's really simple. Even I managed to work this one out. So if you're interested in this, keep watching and let's go back in the past and start with the unboxing. So it's the LF Bros diesel heating. They call it a parking heater. It's the plateau version, which means it's able to calibrate itself if you're at altitude. And here we've got some information on the back. It's a 5 kilowatt heater. It's 12.65 kilos. That's the gross weight. I'm presuming that that's everything that's in the box. The net weight is 8.7 kilos. So let's get out of the box and see where we go from here. Well, for ease, I laid everything out on the table, so it would help me describe to you what's in the box. My first observations were the manual that it came with, which was really easy to follow and understand. Mainly pictures, which helps someone like me. So let's go through first of all what's in the box. So first of all there is a controller and a remote control and a very handy manual that comes with that. And again, my first impressions are it's really straightforward and easy to read. So when we get to that point, we should be okay. There is some other accessories that come with it. So this thing here is designed for the heating to come out of, and that attaches onto this hose, and of course the hose also attaches there. It's a bendy expandable hose. So we will get to that. It comes with the bendy exhaust. I won't bend that yet because I don't know exactly how I want to bend it, but that's the exhaust pipe, which obviously will get hot in operation. And then there is the muffler, which obviously attaches at one end of the exhaust and on the unit itself. And it comes in a box with some brackets and nuts and screws for attaching. Then there is this, I've not opened this bag yet, but it's various clamps and crocodile clips, and not crocodile clips, what are they called? I can't remember what they're called now. But for attaching the pipes, there's various accessories in there. And then we move on to the power options. Well, actually, let's have a look at this first. So that is a cable that attaches in there to the controller. And we'll see where that attaches on the unit itself in a minute. And the various power options, it comes with an adapter, so you can attach with a normal 3-pin plug, so we could power it directly from 230, 240 volts. I'm not sure. I always said 240 when I was younger, but people call it 230 now, so I'm not sure. Or you have this one that attaches, it's the same attachment, and you could attach that to your 12-volt battery if that's how you're going to power it from your motorhome, or even in a workshop if you've got a 12-volt battery you want to power it from. There's this. Again, you can attach this. There's a couple of ways of attaching the power, which I'll show you when we get to the unit. That's another option for you. I mentioned that one already, and I've mentioned that one. So I think that's about it in terms of what's in the box. So let's have a look at the unit itself. Right, so starting on this side, we've got a little badge showing that it's the LF Bros Plateau version. So that's the version that you can use at altitude. It's obviously got some clever technology in there because it alters, I don't know what it alters. It alters something so that you can operate it. I think it's the mix of petrol to air intake, or not petrol, diesel. This is the exhaust. This just pulls off. Got a little cap there. Is that bent? Is it meant to be bent? We'll see later. But there is the little cap for the exhaust. So when you're travelling, you stick that back in. And obviously you've got the carry handles. And on the top, you've got the fuel. There's a 5 litre tank in there. And the fuel cap is an ordinary vehicle fuel cap. So you can't over tighten it. It's obviously got I'll take it out, it's got the very good seal there. When you push that back in, you turn it and it clicks, so you can't over tighten it, which is a really good feature. I'll turn it round. So here is one of your options for power. So this is the air intake. You can see the little fan in there, which will take the air in at that end. So wherever you install it, just make sure you've got that clear. And then you've got the connector points, your positive and negative. So if you're connecting it to 12 volts, then that's where you would attach the power ends. So where are we? So if you were using this one, for example, this one to this end and the other to your 12 volt battery. So let's turn it around and see what is on this side. So nothing other than the logo on this side, and then we turn around to the other side, and what can we see here? So we've got the, you can see how much is in your tank, right up to 5 litres. It's got some specs on the side there, so it's a 5 kilowatt heating unit. It's got the input power of 40 watts. This is where the hose would attach out. So you can either, well, you need to put the end piece on there with the pipe. So, like that. You use one of those clips to hold it in place, and then you feed the other end through with that on the end. The other end also clipped into place to wherever you want to feed your heating. So if you're in a motorhome, then that's what you want to feed through. And then here we've got the power inlet, so if you want to use this one, you can attach here, and the other end is designed to attach to your 12 volt battery. I don't know how much wire there is there, but I mean it looks like there's probably about a meter's worth of cable. So you might, obviously you might want to extend that if, depending on where your battery is in relation to this. And that is the point to plug in the wires to your controller. So that is pretty much it. Now you've got options, so you can, the exhaust needs to be, so this the exhaust, which would be attached to the muffler and then to that. One end, the end that's not this end, the other end, needs to be outside, because this is going to get hot and it's going to get exhaust fumes. So your options with the heater are, you could have the whole heater outside and just have your heating element bit coming in to your tent or your RV or your truck, or in my case the workshop. Or you could have this inside, and then but making sure that you've got an outlet to the outdoors here. Now, for the purposes of me testing this, I'll just leave the garage door open a little bit and I'll feed the exhaust outside. First things first, we need to get some diesel. So I'll go off and get some diesel now, and then we'll give it a test. Well, that's it. I've assembled the LF Bros diesel heater, and because this is only temporary, because this is destined for a friend if it works and it's good, I'm just setting it up outside my workshop. I'm feeding the pipe that all the heat comes out of into the workshop. In a minute I'm going to close that door, fire it up and get it started and see how we go. I can say now I am just the least technically minded person I think you can imagine, and out of the box you've got everything you need. It's been really easy to put that together, and there's loads of other brackets and clips and things when you're setting it up for a more permanent solution. But if you had a tent, or in fact anywhere where you could have the inlet going in a nice easy place, that's the setup you'd go for. Anyway, let's give it a go and see how easy it is to get it started. Well, here's the exhaust. It's cold at the moment, and here's the heating. Once I shut the garage door, you'll have that on the inside. May have to lean it on the sawhorse for starters, but we'll see. As I say, it is only a temporary fix. Okay, the manual tells me to short press the on off and see what happens. It's turned on. Now, as you're watching this, I was using this for the very first time and at the same time reading the manual. So there are two modes. There's a power mode, and the power displays between 1.4 and 5, and the heater will work at the set power value for heating continuously. The other setting is a variable frequency mode, when the screen displays anywhere between a temperature of 10 degrees and 35 degrees, and the heater will start to run at 1.4 kilowatts when the temperature reaches 35 degrees. There's lots of other useful information on the screen. You can see I'm currently in the temperature or variable mode, but also you can see the internal temperature at the moment is 8 degrees. You can also see in the top right hand corner of the screen that we're actually at an altitude of 251 metres above sea level. A short press on the button again will toggle me between power mode and variable mode. So I've left this part of the video running in real time, and that's not because I want to bore you senseless. I just want to give you an idea of the first start-up operation of the diesel heater, and you'll get a sense of the time that it takes for the initialisation of all of the bits and pieces that need to get working before you finally see the flame appear on the display and the heater will start working. Oh, I can hear the familiar ticking sound of a diesel heater now. Well, the heater's been running probably for about 5 minutes now, and it is kicking out a lot of heat. And the temperature's risen from 11 degrees in here to 14 already. And this is a big space, and we've got a big gap here. So, crikey, I mean, that would, if that was in our motorhome now, that would heat the motorhome to a comfortable temperature, I think, within about 5 minutes of turning this on. I am well impressed with this. I'm going to go outside in a minute and just feel the casing of the heater itself and see how hot that is. This is good. I'm almost sorry I've promised it to my friend, as if it would be a really nice permanent setup in here, this. If I was setting up permanently, I'd plumb the exhaust out and have the whole heater sitting inside. But it's on a promise. Well, I've come outside because I want to feel the temperature of the heater itself. And it sounds quite noisy, but of course that's the fan, and it's going full blast at the moment because it's pushing the air out. I've never had a diesel heater before, but I've watched lots of videos and you get that ticking sound. I can't hear any ticking sound at all. I mean, it is encased in there and there maybe is some ticking, but I can't hear it. Maybe that's just because I can hear the fan at the moment. And I'm just going to touch that. I am not going to be silly enough to touch the exhaust. I can see that that looks hot already. And I'm just going to touch the casing and see how that feels. Yeah, it's cold. It's hardly increasing temperature at all. The pipe, the ducting, that feels warm to touch, and then the air that's coming out feels nice, cosy, hot air. Yeah, I'm well impressed with this. As I say, a little bit sorry I've promised it to a friend, but I have. And just before I forget to mention, it does come with a little remote control. I haven't paired that yet, but again, ideal when you're in a van, because you can sit in bed in the morning, you can turn your heater on, give it a couple of minutes, and it'll be nice and warm for you when you get up and make that cup of tea. Good morning. Now, I decided, after having made that very bold statement yesterday about how I could heat my van in about 5 minutes, then I really ought to put this to the test. So I've set it up again on just a temporary basis. I've got the air outlet coming in through the window at the moment. And in fact, let me tell you a funny story. I had it coming through the door first thing this morning, and that's because this window was frozen shut. It's very cold here at the moment. But once it warmed up a little bit in here, and I had the heater to do that, then I've moved it to the window. So this is again just a temporary setup. But I haven't waited 5 minutes. It's probably been a bit longer than that because I've been in and had a cup of tea and some toast. But I've come back now, and it is a very, very comfortable 19 degrees C in here already. So I am really, really well impressed with this heater. Now, you can probably tell I really do like this heater, and I think the best thing for me is just the simplicity of it. You don't really need to be particularly technically minded to get it set up. One thing I did forget to mention is actually there's a timer as well, so you can actually set your heater to come on at a couple of different times of the day if that's what you want to do as well. Although, of course, having the remote control makes it very easy to switch on and off, at your leisure. Anyway, if you did want to get hold of one of these, I'll make sure there is a link to the website in the description of this video. And also, when you open it, for a short period of time, I think it's probably till the end of this month, March, then make sure you tick the little box that says apply voucher code and you'll get an extra £40 off. So enjoy.